Hi, everybody. We have the home team here, I think, already. Let's hope we get others to join us.
I think we have 26 participants so far.
Very
27.
good.
I think they're coming in.
Very good.
If I counted correctly, there were like 100 participants so far in the main room. So we have four parallel sessions. I think yeah, we get more than third at the moment.
Good. Well, welcome everybody on behalf of BioVoices and Grand Est, the hosts of this breakout session. Thank you very much indeed. To remind you that this is obviously on the land-based bioeconomy. So I hope everybody who's joined us that's what you're expecting. We're very pleased to have the opportunity to share with you information today and to hear from you. This is the most important thing, that we hear from you. I'm going to be the main moderator for today, and I'm going to be joined by my colleagues, some of whom you can see here. Robert from Pedal. Hi, hi. Virginia, who's also from Minerva, my company in the UK. Susanna from Italy, and I think Lewis is also from Italy. He's our here he is, a technical whiz to help us with any technical matters. So hopefully that will all work out fine. Good. So let's just remind ourselves what we are endeavouring to do in this session. We only have 1 hour. Whether they'll fall short on us a little bit because we're running late, I don't think so, but let's not assume. So the idea here is that we are thinking about practical solutions. We've heard some very interesting input already. I made some notes, particularly from Blake Simmons' presentation, which I think was very interesting. Some very good phrases like whole world solutions. This is an area where we really do have to collaborate and work together. We need to build partnerships, public-private partnerships, public partnerships, national partnerships, and of course build trust in all those partnerships going forward. It's a challenging situation, but there's lots of many opportunities. Very interesting idea. I thought the whole idea of dispersed production, particularly with bio and biological solutions, rather than thinking about centralizing manufacture, let's think about it dispersing. Skills education, of course, in order to deliver the bioeconomy. So what we're endeavoring to do in this solution within the context of the land-based bioeconomy is to think about best practices and examples that can help drive growth in the bioeconomy, particularly in the context of COVID-19 recovery. That what we need to do is to think about sustainability overall and try and ensure that we are not creating issues. There's a big phrase in the Green Deal, which is do no harm. Really important in the sense that we try and get a 360-degree view here, that all right, we might be improving in one area, but actually that's creating issues in another. So sustainability, our second pillar or theme for today. And the third most important is climate action. How can the bioeconomy, land-based bioeconomy, contribute to climate action initiatives, of course, such as the European Green Deal? So here's an overview of what we're going to do today, and hopefully keep you engaged, keep you interactive, and helping to inspire you to be contributing very much when we get on to the main exercise. So just a quick overview first before we make a real start. Firstly, we have a short Mentimeter interactive exercise where we're going to ask you a little bit more about who you are, who's in our room, and the web link and codes will be up on the screen shortly. Then there'll be presentations from 3 winners. So I'm delighted we're able to join us. 3 winners within the Emerging Talents section of the Falling Walls competition, which is held annually to coincide with the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. 3 presentations that will give absolute practical solutions linked to the 3 key themes of growth, sustainability, and climate action. So really listen and enjoy those presentations. Then we get back to Mentimeter with another exercise where we're going to ask you to rank 8 selected themes, which will be shown on Mentimeter, asking you again to use your phone to go to Mentimeter and rank those 1 to 8. I think this is potentially quite a difficult job, but spend a little bit of time thinking about that, because most importantly, at the end of that exercise, we'll be taking the 2 highest rank themes coming out of that exercise and spending 15 minutes on each of them via the Miro platform, which you'll hear more about later. So when we've had that input, we will obviously be reviewing and organizing the information to see what we can share with plenary. And then hopefully we'll have time at the end for a free-fall discussion and questions in the chat box, enabling people to perhaps make that burning point, important point from their perspective that they haven't had an opportunity to do so far. So don't hold back on that. Make sure that you put your thoughts into chat box, because that will also be going forward to plenary. So first then is the Mentimeter exercise. So use your phone, go to www.menti.com.
Yes, you can also enter the website. You don't need to necessarily use your phone, of course. And
of course.
Then you can provide the access code 1484 and 15. Again, I'm Robert. I'm CEO of Pedal Consulting, and I have a privilege to be here with Rhonda, Luis, and also Susanna today, and walk you through these interactive exercises that are ahead of us. So yes, it's 148415. We would just like to know better who's in the room, and this will get us a better snapshot of the personas who are going to be interacting with us today. So the first question is if I can ask you to...
Rhonda, can you give me the sharing mode?
Of course. Sorry. I'm having difficulty getting to the instructions, to be honest, but I will stop sharing mine, and therefore you should hopefully be able to share yours.
Yes, it's coming.
Very good. Very good.
First one, easy question. Who are you? And we're interested in, the sector. So policy, research, business, or civil society, so-called quadruple helix type of stakeholders. BioVoices project, who is organizing or co-organizing this session, is all about listening and processing different voices. That's why the project is called BioVoices. And these voices are coming from policy, research, business, and civil society. Okay, so the votes are coming in. So far, 18 votes, 19. Do we get a 20? Yes or no? Okay, let's say it's 19 votes. So we have 21% are from the policymakers or public sector. 42 are researchers or academia. There are also some businesses, 20%, and NGOs or civil society, CSOs, 15%. I would say fairly equal, but the researchers are taking the lead here. But I would say otherwise it's a pretty nice share.
We have to move on.
There you go. So the next question, thank you. Where are you from? So in sense of country, just type in the country where you are from, and those who are coming from, from most countries, it will appear the biggest in this word cloud. Okay, so we have France currently, the largest. We have Italy, Spain, Canada, Slovakia, Brazil, Mexico, USA, Argentina. Okay, so 19 votes. So France is apparently leading. Go to France, followed by Italy and Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
South America, Mexico, Bolivia, Argentina, several, yes. Brazil.
Okay, so this gives us a picture of who is with us. Thank you. Next question, maybe, Luis. This is the last one, and we are also interested to know about your gender. So let's see. Males or females? Now males are in the lead. Okay, it's pretty. So it's 11 males and 7 females. Great, thank you. Plus, I'm not voting. So let's see. Also, Rhonda and I guess Virginia. I don't know if you are voting. Could be even closer. Thank you very much, Rhonda. Over to you.
Okay, thank you. So I need to go back to my slide, to sharing my screen. just 1 second. Here we go. Good. So thank you all very much for that exercise. It's useful to have that background, which we'll obviously share also in plenary. Now, as I promised you, there is a section here for you to sit back and enjoy these presentations. I'm very pleased that we have with us today Michaela from Argentina, Umberto from Mexico, and Luis from Bolivia. Now, all these young entrepreneur, research-based individuals have recently competed in the Falling Walls competition. They have also been supported by Euraxis. For those who don't know what Euraxis is, Euraxis is a pan-European funded by the EU. It's an initiative to deliver information and support services to researchers across the world to enable them to engage with the with obviously the European programs. And of course, we heard from Blake and others that actually education skills, entrepreneurial thinking, as well as actual skills development are going to be absolutely critical to deliver the bioeconomy, whether it's land-based, marine side, or in a regional or a local area. So I'm very pleased that we have these three here to share their work with us. So first up is going to be Michaela. Michaela, please do introduce yourself.
Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, hello all from Argentina. My name is Micaela and I'm a chemical engineering student. So imagine what would happen if every time you turned on the tap, you knew that the water you were drinking, using for cooking or just for recreative activities was highly toxic and could lead to disease or even death for you and your family. That is the situation for 200 million people around the world, many living in extreme poverty and with no access to information about this threat. We have developed a low-cost, sustainable solution that will save lives and reduce disease, enabling many more to live productive lives, contributing to the growth of their communities. Here is my Falling Walls presentation.
Apparently, we don't hear.
Yes, Michaela, we don't hear your presentation. I don't know if there is something wrong with your volume, but we don't hear it.
Oh.
Maybe if you want to share, if it's a shareable link, you can paste it here and we try to play it from our end.
Do you want me to share it, Rhonda?
Yeah. Yes.
Maybe I can.
Yes. Could you, Michaela? Sorry, don't know why that's happened.
No, it's okay.
Oh, you could speak to the slide. Up to you.
But I don't have the slides here, so
okay.
give me
All
just
right.
1 minute that I have the link here.
Peter,
I don't know, what do you prefer, if me to share my screen or the link?
Sharing the presentation. Rhonda, are you sharing or
I'm sharing.
You are sharing the presentation?
Yes.
Okay,
it says it's sharing.
Probably on the option you should select play the audio video of the video.
Luis, if you want to maybe do it on your end, and there is already a link here in the chat.
Okay. So if you give me the
so the link is in the chat.
Okay. Please share the sound. Okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Micaela. I'm currently studying chemical engineering in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
You need to move it on.
I was not born when the Berlin Wall fell, but I'm very well aware how significant this event was, particularly in this year, which is the 30th anniversary of the reunification of Germany. When I was a child, I wanted to do something that could help other people. I wanted to save the world. I couldn't understand how people threw cigarettes and papers into the street without not even getting starved. Now, I know it's not that simple, but I still try to do my best in all which I propose and to continue dreaming that America's world is possible. When I was an active scout, I used to visit a rural school in a small town of Argentina. Once, while I was there, I saw a poster informing about the arsenic contamination in the water people consumed. I was astonished. I couldn't believe how no one was really conscious about the situation, considering that, if nothing is done, the children and the rest of the village will suffer from many diseases in at least 10 years. Arsenic and fluoride are minerals that are usually found together in the groundwater. Over a very small quantity of them, water is not able for consumption. The continuous intake of contaminated water causes serious health problems such as bone deformation, cancer, ulcer, tooth decay, and final mortality. This is a map of Argentina, where I live. Here, there are almost 4 million people affected. As you can see, the north is the most contaminated zone, and it is also the most poverty part of our country. Look at the Bangladesh map. Almost half of the global affected population resides there, many of them living under bad life conditions and with no access to education. This issue is becoming even more urgent. Because of the bad use of the natural resources, the presence of these contaminants in the groundwater is on the increase. From Argentina to Bangladesh, this is a global issue. 200 million of people affected currently, and this is going to grow. I propose a simple, practical, and economical filter with a novel technology. The filler, made of iron and sand, can remove arsenic, fluoride, bacteria, and also other contaminants such as uranium, making water suitable for consumption. Maybe you're wondering, what about the generated waste? They also require a treatment. We can contain them in cement bricks that have already been tested, encapsulating them and reusing them as construction material. For this project to take place, we need all sectors to work together. The private sector will be in charge of the production and logistics, prioritizing the quality and accessibility of the product. And the NGOs and non-profit organizations will collaborate with states, ensuring that this product could reach to the most vulnerable ones.
Okay.
Rhonda, do I have to stop or?
Yes, stop now, please. Okay. Yes, otherwise the falling walls presentations were much longer than obviously we have time for.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So next up, please, we have Humberto from Mexico. If you could just use the link, I think that's quicker rather than us worrying about the sound.
Hi from Mexico, everyone. My name is Humberto. I'm an engineer looking for ways to build affordable technologies for small farmers all around the world, who in turn can build more sustainable livelihoods for them and for their families. My team and I have created a device that can help farmers optimize their use of fertilizer so that they can decrease their waste and improve their profitability. And well, here is my falling walls presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Humberto, and I will be breaking the wall of unsustainable agriculture on behalf of my team Agrib, where I am lead engineer. I had yet to be born. I was born until 1997. But I am definitely grateful I was born into a world with one fewer walls, thanks to that day. Well, actually, I wanted to become an inventor. Because, as a kid, you don't care if you only understand a tiny fraction of the universe. You still think you can change it, and it came true. Let me take you on a journey to my home country of Mexico. Here, 5.5 million people depend on agriculture to live their daily lives. However, over the past several years, I have seen people who are usually farmers being displaced to cities because they can't afford to live a middle-class life anymore. They have to compete against large industrialized farms who have high-tech devices that these farmers simply cannot afford. Also, most small farmers are misusing most of their fertilizers. It turns out that 54% of all fertilizers are going to waste because farmers are giving plants more than they actually need. This can damage their soil, the atmosphere, and their water streams. However, this is happening because most farmers don't have enough data to make the right decisions about how much fertilizer they should be applying. This is why my team and I set out to find a way to create a handheld, easy-to-use device that could help farmers determine how much fertilizer they should be using. Now, we have achieved promising results that encourage us to continue developing this solution. This is the device we have developed, and the way it works is farmers need to extract a small sample of their soil and place it under this analyzer here. This device will analyze the properties of the soil using infrared spectrometry, but adapted to make it very cost-effective. We only use specific wavelengths, and we have repurposed electronic components to emit and detect wavelengths of light at the same time. This means that instead of being a $1,000 device, this small device is only $100 in components. Now, what farmers can do is push a button on their app, plug their phones to their device, and the device will do the analysis for them. What will happen is it will read the infrared spectrometry and then send that information to a machine learning algorithm, which will evaluate how many nutrients of each type their soil has. Once our machine learning knows that, it can recommend what type of action they should take based on the fertilizers they usually use. This way, farmers could optimize how much fertilizer is going to waste and therefore reduce their variable costs. This could increase their yields and make them every time more profitable.
Thank you, Humberto, very much indeed. And the third of our trio is Luis.
Yeah.
Luis.
Yeah, of course.
Well, introduce yourself, do, please. Thank you.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone from Bolivia. My name is Luis Alejandro, and I am a bioprocess engineer. We all know the catastrophic effect that we as a human race have had on the planet. We have had unsustainable resource use, pollution, climate change, and we also know that we are near a point of no return. We know that action must be taken. We propose the production of bioplastics from agro-waste through both novel microorganisms and novel bioprocesses. We aim to tackle all the negative aspects of petrochemical plastics, unsustainability, toxic chemical emissions, and mainly mitigate their effect over the planet, both regarding climate change and plastic waste accumulation. We have great hopes that all the damage done to Earth can be reversed. And here's my falling walls presentation. I am Luis Alejandro Romero Soto. I am an engineer and biotechnologist and work for UMSA in Bolivia and completing a PhD in Lund, Sweden. I was still living with my parents in Bolivia at the time, so I don't have much recollection of it. As a child, I had phases. On one side, I wanted to be like my father, who's a chemical engineer. On the other side, I loved nature, and I wanted to know more about her features. As I grow up, I wanted to become both of them. So I'm more or less a hybrid bioprocess engineer. And honestly, I love being so. My research breaks the wall of petrochemical polymers. As a human race, we have had a disastrous effect on the planet. We have made entire ecosystems disappear. We have used our resources unsustainably. Who is to blame for the situation? We will focus on petrochemical polymers. About 4% of total oil per year is used to produce the monomers plastic is made of. Another 4% is used to generate the energy for these processes. These plastics need a mix of chemicals to give them color, stability, or resistance. Problem is, a lot of these chemicals are mutagenic, carcinogenic, or pollutant. The worst part is that they are very stable, which means that from the moment they are produced, they will be with us for a long time, damaging a lot of aquatic life in the process. What can be done? We propose the transformation of agro-waste
through bioprocesses to produce biopolymers as a basis for bioplastic production. As a country, we are in a strategic position for this because we are the second largest producer of quinoa in the world. Post-harvest season, we have a lot of agro-waste that is not used currently. We are planning to transform this and to be used by microorganisms. We have unique ecosystems in Bolivia, like Salario Uyuni, where evolution has been forced on microorganisms in order to develop strategies for survival. And this, by coincidence, means more production of biopolymers. By adapting these microorganisms to work in the lab and optimizing the bioprocesses, we produce biopolymers that will be the basis for bioplastics, with similar properties to petrochemical polymers, but with the huge advantage of being from renewable sources and most of all, biodegradable. Most biopolymer projects have to deal with sustainability and economic feasibility. We tackle these issues right off the bat because we are basing the project on quinoa agro-waste, which is very abundant and very cheap. Also, we have novel microorganisms to carry out the project. In my case, I would say there are many components that fit to reply this, but we were going to mention the integration.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Lewis, very much indeed. So there we've heard three solutions. One, through improving the health of populations and communities, therefore supporting the growth within communities, economic growth. We've heard Umberto's solution, which is very focused on increasing the sustainability by putting technology in the hands of those who can really most directly use it. And then we've heard from Lewis, a more technical presentation, but very important in terms of addressing climate change. So we're now going to move on to the next part of our program. So we are now back, and apologies for the sound issues. I could hear all of it, but obviously wasn't aware that you couldn't. So we're now back to Mentimeter and our exercise number 2, which is the ranking of themes. So back to your phone, back to logging on to Menti and to that code, the same code as you had before.
So the code is 148415. For those of you who arrived later, please log into menti.com, either through your laptop or cell phone, and insert code 148415. And now this is really interesting and important exercise because it will establish the content of the next 30 minutes, which will be discussed in interactive Miro environment. What we are asking you to do is you will see the 8 themes below on the slide, and we would like you to prioritize them, from first one being the most important one until the 8th one, which is in your opinion the least important one. And then we will select 2 winners, let's say, and dive into them and try to elaborate them in greater detail. The themes are as follows. Luis, would you like to share your screen?
Rhonda has to...
Oh, beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Sorry, Luis.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's menti.com, 148415 is the code. You will also see it soon on the screen. And the 8 themes are as follows. And so please, now we have 4 minutes or so. I will read out the choices. So the first one is technology is the answer. So we're going for more applications or more access, which would give an answer to the challenges. The second one is the health. So health for all is the answer. Building resilience and capacity. Third one, honest communication for and to consumers is the answer. So this is something to do with the sustainability, growth, and climate. The next one is sustainable intensification is the answer. So we can feed everyone, very important. The next one is biodiversity is the answer in order to re-establish the health of the planet. Next one is biorefinery development is the answer in order to create new value chains and jobs. Next one is circularity is the answer. So there is less waste and resources are preserved. And the last one, but probably not the least, speeding up the legislation and regulation is the answer to keep up with validated innovations. So we have 8 topics. I will just repeat the keywords: technology, health, honest communication, sustainable intensification, biodiversity, refinery development, circularity, and speeding up of legislation and regulation. Okay, so we see the movement. Susanna, feel free to jump in and comment.
Yes, we are at 11 responders now, and it seems that circularity is one of
Susanna, I think I hear you very remotely. If you can come closer.
Yes, no, I was. Yeah, okay. Now you hear me better, I guess. No.
Now it's much better.
Okay, great. So it seems that we are now 14 responders, so we are around 32, so we are more or less at the half, but apparently circularity is jumping to the first place, and it was also kind of expected. And take your time, because it's very important, because this will lead the next discussion that we will have through Miro. So you will.
It's very close. It's very close. We have honest communication, and let's see if technology can get through it, because we have only 2 spots to discuss this.
Is increasing, and also legislation and regulation, that is a very hot issue, of course.
Yes, maybe 1 or 2 votes can make the difference. So let's allow ourselves a little bit more time to see if we stick to circularity.
We are at 20, so maybe we can repeat again the code.
Yes, the code is 148415.
And you should enter menti.com.
I will type it here also in the chat. 148415.
Direi circularity, no?
Yes, so let's wait, maybe, because perhaps what is now 3rd and 4th could become 2nd.
Yes, exactly. We have 20 votes up to now. I guess you are still thinking a little bit, but it's important to get more or less the answer from I cannot say everybody, of course, but the majority of us.
Okay, so 3, 2, 1, here we go. So we have the winners.
Yes.
The circularity is the one that was selected as a priority. The second one is honest communication. So we will stick to these 2 topics, and then just for the sake of understanding what are the other priorities. I mean, there are still some movements, but the first 2 positions didn't change. It's the legislation and regulation on the 3rd place, just below the line. And then technology on the 4th place. We have biorefinery development, biodiversity, sustainable intensification, and health. Health came as the last one. A little bit surprisingly for me, but yes, this is the result. Okay, so we freeze it here, and we go with circularity and honest communication. Rhonda, over to you.
Thank you very much again for everybody to contribute. I hope we did manage to capture everybody's input there. Sorry, beg your pardon. So we're moving now to, sorry.
Yes, so now what's going to happen, we are going to use the interactive session through the Miro.com. We will soon paste the link here in the chat. Maybe Luis, if you can kindly do that, but I understand that in the meantime, you just need to make...
yeah, Luis is trying to put our superhero in the Miro, and is also giving us everything.
And here we come. I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with this application. It's very straightforward, I would say. Now, I kindly ask you to open your mics if you want. Feel free to intervene at any time. This is supposed to be highly interactive. Of course, we would like to also see the faces. So if you can switch on your camera, if it's possible, that would be appreciated. Luis, are you sharing your screen now? I think so.
Yes.
You are, okay.
Yep.
So as you can see, let's discuss the first 15 minutes or so we will spend on the first priority, which was circularity, which is supposed to be the answer to the challenge related to boosting the economy. As you can see, there are 3 color codes. The reddish one is related to, or the red post-its on the left-hand side. Luis, thank you for showing your cursor, is all about economic growth. So if you want to make a contribution through the red post-it, it will be about economic growth. When you use the green one, all the contributions, reflections, observations, comments should use this green post-it. And the blue one is for climate-related opinions and comments. So this is the color code. I think it's now evident from the screen that we are sharing. And I kindly ask you first to give us your inputs through the post-its on actionable solutions related to circularity. It could be good practice. I mean, we've heard interesting case studies from the winners, but of course I understand that many of you are implementing the projects or are members of initiatives. So we're just curious to see, if you can share with us in keywords the actionable solutions related to themes that you have chosen. Luis, how many participants actually managed to log in to Miro? I think I start seeing some movement first. Great. So the number is now growing 5, and people are entering the room. That's great.
6, 7.
So you have again, you have here in the chat. If you see in the chat, you can enter in Miro, and then of course you will use your own screen to interact. Of course, you will have double screens open. This is the one that we will see, and then you will have your own screen open in which you can interact.
That's so I started with the timer. I started with the timer. So we have 15 minutes here. Yeah, you can take the sticky notes and click 2 times to right inside, and then paste it in the right area. You can zoom in with the wheel of the mouse, or you have also let's say a zoom toolbar on the bottom right corner. Okay. Yes. And I will put them nicely in order. Okay.
So the first block is circularity is the answer. So there is less waste and the resources are creating richness, creating development. And therefore, what we would like from you here is to tell us what type of actionable solution related to the 3 themes that you see. So we have economic growth, sustainability, and climate action. So you can put your contribution in the area that you believe is more connected to what you want to say.
Please try not to use the tool on the left, but try just to use the sticky notes, red, green, and blue.
Yes, and feel free to also go to any of the 3 panels. So the one on the left-hand side is all about actionable solutions related to circularity. The second one, the middle panel, is about how will this action be actually delivered. Feel free to also populate this board. And the one on the very right-hand side is actually about, we would like to know if there are any environmental, social, and or economic risks associated with these proposed solutions. I mean, normally it should nicely correlate, from left to the right side, but you are not necessarily asked to do so. So if you already have, concrete actions and you don't know about actionable solutions, feel free to go directly where it suits you.
The sticky notes are a block of sticky notes, so you can take it and move it. Okay. Perfect.
Drag it.
Drag it and then right, and put it in the right place.
Yes. Again, if you need to zoom in, there is a plus sign in the bottom right side of the screen. because you may see the contributions rather small.
You can also use the arrow of your mouse.
Okay, we see first posted, Susanna. Would you like to?
Yes, I see that the first one in the economic growth are enhance biomass productivity, build a regional value chain, add value to waste streams that are kind of close to the first one, reduce waste, and then we start to see the education. That is one of the, I mean, the activities, the subjects that the Commission is absolutely investing in. Also, we see related to the sustainability, we start to have a solution that is public procurement of bio-based product. In the sustainability, probably also in the economic growth, this should stay kind of in the middle somehow. And I open mine so I can see it better. So regarding the climate action, we have reduced and valorized food waste that could stay also probably in the other two places. There, as you see, there is not a clear, cut between one place and another, but it's kind of a reference just for you to have better ideas. And then we have replaced traditional polluting processes by bioprocesses. So we are talking about processes here, not only products. Integral use of bioresources to bioprocesses. And if we go in the action plan, basically, so this is the second block. So the first block, as we said, is the ideas. So what should be done? What are the actionable strategies or ideas? And then how this action will be delivered. So basically the action plan, we see that the circularity must be envisaged at different scales. This is interesting also because if we talk about regional development, of course, this should be done because we need to define, as for instance, our researcher before said, the fact that the agriculture people, the farmers should have small scale solutions. Compensate farmers for carbon sequestration. So in the action plan, we already start to see that the main player that should be involved are the farmers, because the first two are already for them.
Let's keep in mind that we are speaking about circularity, so really try to keep the focus on this topic. I appreciate it's rather generic still. But we will have one more similar exercise about the communication, which is, different set of arguments. But still, bear in mind that when you're making contribution, it should be somehow related to the aspect of circularity.
Yes. Also, when it comes to action plan, we see, for instance, the role of policymakers. So we have policy incentive for the industry if they address the circular solution. And then we have government set strategic targets for bio-based procurement. So again, we have this question about the public procurement as a booster of the circularity.
And I can already see someone nicely matched the first board with the second one with the arrow. That's an advanced user. But this is exactly what we are looking for, correlations. There you go, another one. So reduce polluting emissions. And then as a consequence, the action is develop alternative bioprocesses. I like, okay, more arrows coming in. That's great. That's great. So we see consumption habits need to change, and then the action would be incentives to recycling. Absolutely.
Also, we have reduced food waste, and then we have dietary and consumer behavioral change. So this also will have to do with our next question. but it also has to do with scale-up biorefining processes, I think. And then I see here in the center, communicate to industry the advantages. So this has to do also with our next point, from waste valorization. So cost benefit sustainability ratio, that has to do also with education, kind of. And governmental grants to purchase technology. Yes, the role of technology and research is really evident in this exercise. So in order to boost it is important because we start to see that the role of the different quadruple helix stakeholders is pretty clear. I mean, we have the role, some roles that should be responsibility of the policymakers, some other that should be responsibility of the industry, the research, but also the civil society, in particular the primary sector.
Absolutely. And slowly but surely, we can start moving also and paying attention to the third board or white paper, I don't know how to call this, which is all about related environmental, social, and economic risks, which are related to the proposed solutions. So yeah, we're indeed talking about actionable solutions, actions, and then associated risks, which need to be somehow kept in mind when implementing these actions and factor them in.
Also, the collaboration between academia and agro, I guess agri-food sector, uni program focused on agro solutions. So we also see that, I mean, education is important because could be also used to inform and to train and also to facilitate the exploitation of opportunities, build the regional value chains, okay, reduce food waste.
I guess this two green and the red should be red, right?
Yes. Also, let's remember so. Let's remember the color codes because
let's
maybe
make the color codes.
Yes.
Correct.
So again, red is economic growth, green is sustainability, and
so
blue is climate action.
Here.
We will then clean it up, but you know, it would ease our processing of the feedback highly if you can stick to this color code. Okay, and I think that the
first risk we have the first risk that is related to small industry that could be left behind, and therefore is a question of fair growth. So probably this is more on let's say the first, the red, but anyway is related to this. We see a lot of arrows that
let's go to the third one now, and it's about risks, associated risks. So we see also costs. That's always a factor.
There is another, let's say, element that is very interesting is the fact of the question of the carbon sequestration. That is an option that has to do with, of course, climate action, and as an action plan, compensate farmers for carbon sequestration. That is, of course, a good incentive, a nice incentive, because this actually is not considered at all.
Mm-hmm.
And how this can be done, of course, incentive, compensation for the farmers, but what is the risk about this? Or at least what are the action that should be taken into consideration in order to make this? I mean, we have a lot the involvement of the primary sector, but what are the risks, or at least what should be taken into consideration in order to really go from an idea strategy to something that is really deployed in the reality?
Some opposition might be met if taxpayers' money is used, absolutely. and that is linked with compensation of farmers for carbon sequestration. So this is what you were just mentioning, Susanna.
Yeah, and probably this has also to do with the fact that this should be really communicated in an appropriate way in order to mitigate possible opposition.
Yeah, communicate. Absolutely, I think now it makes even more sense that the transparent and fair communication was chosen as a second priority, which we will just start discussing in less than 2 minutes.
Overshooting. Well, who wrote? Do you want to comment what overshooting? What does it mean? I mean, what is the meaning of?
Feel free to any point open your microphone and contribute even orally to the discussion.
Food competition is one of the points that, of course, should be taken into consideration. Unexpected consequences, the famous rebound effect, like loss of biodiversity, as an example. Oh, there is an already established plastic industry that might oppose to green alternatives. Some opposition might okay, this is the taxpayers. Economic impact on animal-based food producers, and this is linked with the reduce of food waste. Okay. So it seems that a fair transition is one of the main points, now to be considered to support fairly the different actors, and also to take into consideration, of course, the potential consequences on the environment. I'm surprised as you, Robert, on the fact that the potential impact, negative impact on the health is not so evident in this group. No?
Yeah, it was my secret guess that it would make the first two positions, but it always depends who's voting. It's interesting. I mean, we have a sample of 20-30 participants. Okay, yeah, so I think we're coming towards the end. Thank you so much for these contributions. I mean, this will be open, I understand, for further elaboration, and we will give chance to contribute also to other attendees who are currently not in this session. But now, maybe Luis, if I can ask you to unlock the second theme priority, which was the communication.
Okay, so you already know how to use it.
Yes,
so
and you will see if you are to zoom out and go down with your cursor, because under that you will see there is exactly the same environment, but it's all about honest communication this time. Yes, so I see some participants already moved down to the board. That's great.
Okay, so honest communication, that means to communicate not only the pros, but also the cons, and also evidence-based communication. So the communication that is really based on scientific knowledge, and in order to really provide knowledge that enable the consumers to take informed decisions.
Yes, so just remind, so the economic growth, red color, sustainability, green color, and climate action is blue color. We start having the first contributions, not only under actions panel, but also under risks.
So regarding sustainability, transparent and robust LCA of bio-based products, so the entire life cycle of the bio-based product from the eco design to the end of life. This is absolutely important for the, not only, if I can say, the communication is not only related to the, of course, to the consumers, is related also to the primary producers, to the policymaker, to all, I mean, everybody that is involved in this process.
Brands, consumers, clusters. I mean, we had the chance to gather a different type of feedback on communicational aspects through mobilization and mutual learning workshops, which took place during the BioVoices project. Susanna, maybe I don't want you to influence our participants, but what would be your major elements when it comes to communication?
Is what I said. I mean, the communication should be really evidence-based, should be really treating the consumers as when we started a few years ago, 5 years ago, we really faced the consumers asking bio what, and then now we are in the phase of bio how, or even bio act. So the consumers would like to be part of the game. Therefore, the communication is not only one way, but is rather two ways, is rather more co-creation or something like that. So there's a transition that should be taken, participative activities. So this is my idea. So communication, but communication as a process, as a stakeholder engagement activity more than simply communication.
Yes, sorry, Susanna, go on.
Go ahead, and I was starting reading because meanwhile we have several.
Yes, so I see the first correlations. For instance, one action would be organizing workshops with consumers. I could not agree more. And the action is talking openly about challenges, but not only about benefits. Yeah. So yes, tell the whole truth.
The climate, what is strange at this moment is to really make evident the correlation between the climate action, the climate urgencies, and for instance, the bioeconomy, because it's not really so evident. So I like this improve communication on climate change, incorporate climate change into education. I mean, climate change should be much more central, as the Commission is highlighting and pushing. We see all the Green Deal calls, how the communication shift. Consumers only care about a product that satisfies their needs, but depends on what the needs are. So real impact of the bio product must be conveyed to the consumers. But impact is impact on the health, impact on the environment, of course, impact in the growth. So there are several needs. Okay, so having the workshop with the consumer, we already said. After sales services, find ways to make long-term perspective attractive, like for instance through serious games.
Make bioeconomy products trendy. Yes, I mean, we have heard also that nowadays a lot of influencers, YouTubers are being used to popularize the bioeconomy trend, or yes, I would say it's a trend for some part of population, and also using sportsmen, actors. Just like any brand, any commercial product, this is one way forward to popularize it.
Regarding other actions, so novel marketing strategies, communities of practices, common languages, language and terms, so make the terminology more understandable and easily identifiable by the consumer. Standardization, so finally the standardization legislation is popping up, although it was the third one.
Labeling, I would add.
Labeling, helping people not thinking white or black, also because we are in a transition, and therefore the transition is a period of learning also. There are more than one solution, okay? Explaining bioeconomy as a new paradigm for the future. We did a nice experiment in the BioBridges project that was this time travel experimentation in Twitter, in which we ask to all the stakeholders, you are now in 2050, tell us how the people from 2020 solved the pressing environmental and sustainability challenges. And was nice, no? Because it was nice to see, no, Robert?
Yes, it was organized in the form of a Twitter chat, and the concept was very easy, like very simple, coming back from future and resolving current challenges with the future mindset. So it was coming back from 2050 to tackle the challenges of 2020. And a lot of crazy and interesting, innovative ideas and reflections came out.
So the real impact of over environment of bioproducts must be conveyed to the consumer. So the real impact has to do, of course, with even life cycle assessment and possible consequences. So as a, let's say, weak point, we have strategies for awakening interest on bioproducts might be not enough to gain consumers' confidence and also trust, of course. So much more bioact. Successful prevention is politically unattractive. This is interesting. Honest,
I tend to agree with this statement. Yeah. I do agree with that. And yes, I was hoping to see. Oh, I was pretty sure that the greenwashing would appear here, and I'm glad that it did. That's one of the major risks associated with the communication.
Align expert voices, otherwise trust dissolves. So trust is again in the risks. We see a lot of trust. Honest advertising could decrease sales. So there is a risk in being honest, but in the other hand, there is a risk in not being honest.
The time will show, always.
Yes, exactly. And then we see, speak about challenges and not only the benefits. Absolutely, we agree, absolutely. Also because probably what we are designing now will be completely different in few years. Therefore, it is needed to take into consideration all the voices. This is exactly what BioVoices is about, to bring all the voices around the table and try to find solutions that are trusted, that are shared, and that are finally actionable because they are a shared good. So normalize purchase of bio-based and not...
That's
go ahead.
Excellent. I hope you also had such lively and interactive meetings as I've had it in the land-based bioeconomy group.
I don't know what.
Yeah, I think we are asked to go back.
Yes.
Okay.
We are asked to go back. So I think we are still at 5 minutes, but nevertheless, feel free to finish the exercise. And now let's go back to the main panel and convene and
we have
conclusions.
There's a.
Anyway, thanks everybody for this interesting exchanges.
Thank you so much.
Let's go back. This will be left open for a few days now, Rhonda.
Yes.
So.
Yes, there's a 10-minute coffee break now, so we have time to continue.
Okay. Okay, so if we continue, let's see, make it relevant to daily life. And this is exactly what we did in the video that we prepared for BioBridges. If you want to go in the page where all the videos are, I've seen that there are several very interesting videos, including the BioBridges video. So new ways, serious games, we already said, speak about challenges, explain the role of photosynthesis in capturing the carbon from the air. Okay. So we have new contents here. So some PPL feel like personal change doesn't make the difference, while indeed it is, especially with the young generation, to put them in the center. Although I think that the trends, especially with young people, are really changing about this. They really believe that their contribution make the difference. Explaining bioeconomy, this is linked with this. Helping people not think in black and white, we already seen. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I said that the first block, CO2 tax in the first block again. So if we see it in the as a whole, this exercise, what are the main? I mean, this is a question for everybody. What are the main, let's say, elements that we can we can take?
Yes, that's a challenge also, because I understand that Rhonda, you will be asked to provide a short summary.
Yes, so I have to provide a short summary. I prepared a couple of slides, framework slides within the two themes. So what I've done is, sorry, can I share my screen again or not?
Luis, facial.
I'm looking with the other screen, what's going on in the main room.
They're showing two videos in a coffee break at the moment. So we have a few minutes. And then Elizabeth Balzetti is going to present on the bioeconomy monitoring scheme. So we have about 20 minutes, I think. Can I share my screen so I can show you the slides to see whether we can come to any?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you everybody for all of that great engagement. Takes a little while, doesn't it, to get our heads around it. We were going to have hopefully a few free fall moments, but unfortunately not. Events overtook us. So two slides in terms to help us to present back to plenary. We will have this information, which is the some information about who was in our room and the ranking of the 8 themes in their right order. And then here's a grid I prepared earlier to see whether we can pull out some key points around the 3 main areas, which is growth, sustainability and climate action, and obviously the 2 ranked themes. Sorry, I've just got a tickle in my throat.
While we see that there are a lot of congratulations in the chat, so it's great. So thank you all for your activities, not only to us. I mean, we like to play with our participants. This is our, let's say, way of working, basically, because we believe that it is important, as the majority of us wrote in the discussion, to have the people in the center. So it's not just us that we are simply facilitators, but rather we are learning, and therefore the best way to learn nowadays is to use interactive tools like these ones.
Yes. Also, thank you from Slovakia.
Rhonda, you are back to live, kind of, not really.
I have a real tickle. Sorry, so the overall number, I believe, was
we had 34 in a certain point. I've seen 34 people.
Yes, 34. Now looking back at the Mentimeter slides, so everything is recorded there. Luis, do you have access? I remember that most of the participants
Guarda un attimo dentro il Mentimeter.
Researchers, followed by policymakers.
Okay. 5 policy. 8 research, ma puoi parlare anche tu. Ma dillo.
Luis, we cannot hear you.
Okay, sorry, I was muted. Mm-hmm. So we have 5 policy, mm-hmm. 8 research, 4 business, and 3 civil society.
Okay, so these were the voting ones.
Yes.
Countries, I remember France.
Countries is France. Then I would say Italy, the second. Then the same is Germany, Argentina, and Bolivia, Slovakia, I would say. And then I would say Mexico, UK,
I can't
Canada,
hear a thing. I can't hear a thing.
USA, Belgium, and Brazil. Maybe if you want, I can paste the image. Maybe? No.
So regarding the ranking of the themes, we had 1 circularity, 2 communication, no? Then I think regulation, if I'm not wrong, was the third.
First, circularity. Second, honest communication. Third, speeding up legislation. Fourth, technology is the answer.
Oh, I didn't get it.
I think we should go to the next room because I see people speaking already.
Yeah, sorry, can't hear a thing.
Fai un print to, maybe we can have a print to screen here. A print to screen in this page, simply, of the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Just a second.
Sorry, bloody chat.
Rhonda, I sent you the through Skype the print to screen of the mirror.
I put it.
Sorry, I don't have Skype. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't have Skype.
If you want, I can share my screen and I show you.
I think we literally only have 3 minutes, so I'm not sure that it's going to work to show the Skype. To show the Miro. I think we do have to try and pull out some key points.
Yes, at least you can show the print to screen.
Okay,
was my suggestion.
Okay, can you send it to my email?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Because we're first on.
Yes, exactly. I'm arriving. 2 seconds.
Okay. I'm also going to the other room, so I'm closing.
closing okay. What key points do you want me to? What key points do you want me to raise?
I think that okay. Apart from the fact that meanwhile I'm sending the mirror screenshot. I think that what is interesting is the fact that there is for the first one the involvement of the 4 the quadruple helix actors, so the farmers, the research, the industry, and the policymakers, because everybody has his own role that is central in driving the process. Then the process should not be linear, but rather involving them. So more, let's say, participative.
Yeah.
Then communication is important. Also to highlight the pros and cons. So not a blend, I mean a blind communication, but rather an informed information in order to help the other to take decision. And also information and education are absolutely relevant for both categories, and particularly for the transition to the circular economy, we will need we will need absolutely a switch of perspective and use of education and
Sorry, I'll need to come back to you again in a minute. Sorry, because I was just trying to access. You've sent it, have you?
Yes, I did. You didn't get it?
No, not yet.
I can try again.
Those very low numbers that you mentioned on Mentimeter for people logging in, well, surely we had more than that. No.
Well, these are not everyone who was in the room actually participated to the Mentimeter.
Right. Okay. Okay.
More in the.
So I won't mention that then.
You can mention percentage if you want, rough percentage.
We can. Yeah.
Maybe the percentage will be
still not. It's still not arriving. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. I've got it now. Okay. Okay. So.
Just I mean, shorten the board. I simply cut and paste the print to screen, so you have to cut the.
Rhonda.
Hello, Lewis.
Yeah, if you want to say percentage, is male 56%.
Oh, Jesus!
So probably better.
I can't cut off that other voice for some reason. I can't cut it off, so I can't hear. Sorry, Lewis, you were saying, can you put some information in WhatsApp? Oh, okay. Yeah. What am I looking? What am I looking at here on FVA?
56.
I have the email now, but it's quite small.
I'm sending you a version that is more. Try like that, because I already cut it in the size.
I'm just seeing your website now. I think can't really. I'm just seeing your website.
You don't see the image?
No, I can't see.
Attached in the video? No, in the.
I can't. I'm seeing your website. I'm not seeing the image. I've got it on the. You pasted it into. What have you pasted it into? I can't quite see here. Right, I've got it but it's very small. Hold on. Right, that's a little bit better.
I think we have to go back.
Yes. Okay.
Unfortunately, I cannot enter because they gave me the access with another person, so I cannot enter the other. So I cannot help, unfortunately.
Okay, right. I'll be there if needed.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, Robert, could you just rehearse the three? Let's just say 3 key points.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't. So I'll obviously say we've chosen the 2 main themes.
Yes.
The 2 main themes, that's important. So the do you have the ranking of all the?
Yes. So we had 34 participants.
Sorry, can you put it into the WhatsApp group, because I really can't
I'm
hear
writing
properly.
it. Okay.
Okay, marvelous. Thank you.
The ranking is in the mirror anyway, yeah, Robert. I put the image.
Can you send me on Skype? It's much faster, or just send us. You know what? Send us a photograph on WhatsApp. That's the best. Photograph on WhatsApp. Picture.
You're already in the other session also?
I'm joining now.
Okay.
Should we move on to the next point and possibly come back when we have a solution for this agenda item? Let me ask Anne Bogdansky to come back and start with inviting the feedback from the breakout groups. Anne, please come in.
Thank you, Peter. Let's get back to the breakout groups then and some feedback from the 4 different representatives. So first of all, I would like to invite representatives from the Grand Est region and BIOVOICES to provide some short feedback from the discussions around the land-based bioeconomy. May I ask Ms. Rhonda Smith, Voices, to come?
Yes. Thank
3 minutes.
Okay.
Short,
yes.
But, we're looking forward to the.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And firstly, can I say thank you to everybody who joined us in our workshop 1 for land-based bioeconomy. We had a very good representative sample of people there with us from research, from business, from policy, and indeed from civil society. We endeavored to make this as interactive as possible. So one of the important things, the most important interactive task we asked people to do was to rank 8 themes that we presented to them on Mentimeter, asking them to rank in their opinion, which was the most important area that should be focused on in terms of the theme that would provide an answer to help us progress to ensuring that we had a good, productive solution to our COVID dilemma at the moment. We asked people to rank 8 themes, and we then went on to we then went on to discuss 2 of the top-ranked themes. Interestingly, the 2 top-ranked themes, firstly was circularity, and secondly was communication. And interestingly, bottom of number 8 was health, in terms of ensuring health of the community, and different ranks in the middle of technology, biorefineries, and other aspects. So the most important feedback, I think, when we went on to discuss both of these themes in turn, regarding ranking of number 1, the circularity, was in fact the fact that actually the whole process must be circular. Every single action that is going to be progressed has to have the active involvement of all stakeholders, and that nobody can be left behind. Because if any stakeholder group is left behind, then there is the potential for their non-engagement, and even worst of all, at the bottom end of the spectrum, the prospect that perhaps a poor decision is made that means that the value chain will be broken. So I think that was our top point. We have the Miro still open, so people are still actually contributing to that, and we can obviously share that with the whole group. The second theme was about communications, and this was very active in terms of people's contribution to the discussion regarding this. One of the main points is that there has to be honest communication, that there has to be clear, there has to be hopefully the use of standardized terms and standardized language, which reflects something that Blake Simmons said early on in the discussion, that actually there should be no quick wins processed and progressed by industry, by greenwashing, for example, without absolutely understanding the consequences of the route that they're taking, and not being able to be honest and clear in their communications, again, with their suppliers, again, with their the intermediaries such as supermarkets, and also their end consumers. So I think that's, in quick summary, some of the key points. We had a very active discussion, and it was great to have so many different people in our room.